Hi, this is Jake Fye, State Representative for the 27th District. What happens here in Olympia really matters to the 27th District. And I'd like to give you a quick tour of the many great things happening in Tacoma that have been affected by the state legislature. Please take a look at this tour. I'm here with Terry Larson, and Terry for many years had been constructing park projects in Pierce County. And we're here on Rustom Way in the city of Tacoma. Beautiful area. Lots of people utilize the area here during the summertime. And over here is the Old Town Dock. The Old Town Dock was refurbished. It was closed for many years. And what people are hoping for in this area is to be able to go from the west at Point Defiance all the way to the Foss Waterway and the continuous park area. And part of the transportation package that was passed a few years ago includes money to help get started with the trail along the unfinished part of this trail. So Terry, you've lived in the North End for a long time.
Well, when I moved here in 1969, this was a grain storage, somewhat similar to the one we have now, only it was a tunnel. And you drove underneath it and rocks and water fell on your car and stuff. So you can see this is quite a different story than we had then.
So as you know, Terry, I was able to get funding $4 million for the area along Schuster Parkway to complete this trail from the Foss Waterway all the way to Point Defiance. And I know you had some interest and involvement in that.
Yeah, I not only worked with Pierce County Parks as an employee, but I also worked for Metro Parks here as a board member for the advisory council. So, and that's a very important element of the trail all the way from the Foss Waterway down to Point Defiance in the boathouse area.
There's been a lot of reinvestment here in the community along Ruston Way. It still needs some more investment, but it is really the core of the recreational activities in Tacoma where people can spend a great deal of their time either on the water or walking along the waterfront or enjoying one of the restaurants here. Well, here we are at Tacoma Community House with Liz Dunbar, the Executive Director. And Liz, you had a project in the capital budget that the legislators from this district worked on. Can you talk a little bit about what it will mean for refugees into this community?
Well, it's huge. We are so grateful for the legislature and this capital budget. We received $2.5 million from the capital budget to go towards our building project. We are building a brand new 2-story building to almost double our space so that we can serve many more immigrants and refugees in this community. We'll have more classroom space, we will have confidential interviewing space for our clients, we'll have study space for students, so it's going to be a wonderful resource here in the Hilltop, and we couldn't have done it without the legislative support.
And a lot of this is about getting folks ready for employment in the community, is that right?
Yes, we have 4 core programs: education, employment, immigration, and assistance to crime victims. And so we teach people English, we help them find a job, we help them get their green cards and renew them, and we help crime victims through all of those issues. So it's really a place where immigrants and refugees can integrate into the community.
We're out here at the site of the new Eastside Center that we hope will be a big attraction for young people in this community. And I'm here with Shalisa Hayes, who really has been the inspiration and the community leader that's helped put this project together. So could you tell me a little bit about the inspiration you had to do this project?
Sure. So my 17-year-old son, Billy Ray Shirley, had a vision. He felt like there was no place for kids on the east side to go, to be safe and have fun. And unfortunately, after losing him to gun violence, that dream became a lot larger than we expected. And I took his dream, shared it with the community and some young people, and got people like Jake on board to support the idea. And here we are, just a few years later, making it happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a great facility. Swimming pool, recording studio. What else is going to be in there?
Teaching kitchen, a social lounge, gym. You mentioned the pool is huge. It's got a whirlpool and a zip line as well.
Well, thank you for sharing your dream with us and getting it to be a reality.
Thank you. Well, thank you for supporting us.
You bet. Here with Andrew Austin, who is the Governmental Affairs Director for Metro Parks. Andrew, this has been a labor of love by the Park District. There's been a lot of state money contributed, $5 million, I think. Can you talk a little about the other partners and what this means for the Park District?
Yeah, it really took all the partners to come together to get this project done in the time that we did, which was relatively quick for government agencies. So the support of the state money was key. We got support from the federal government through new market tax credits and all the interests that are involved in that. And then our project partners, so Metro Parks, Tacoma Housing Authority, South Puget Sound, Boys and Girls Club, the City of Tacoma, and the school district. We all came together to make this happen. So the school district, the land is leased to us for basically no cost. The city and Metro Parks both put in quite a bit of cash to get to the $31 million, and then THA has just been a staunch supporter of this throughout the whole process, and it's really crucial in the new market.
So the total project cost?
$31 million, yeah.
Wow. So this is going to be quite the place for young people on the east side?
Quite the place. I mean, the story through the vision of Billy Ray and Shalisa, but then kind of what it's going to become, people just get it.
A lot of the planning came from young people in the community to have the kinds of things they wanted here, and so it's their dream being realized.
Totally.
Great.
Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here with Michael Mira, the Executive Director at the Housing Authority in Salishan. Michael, how about giving me a little bit of history about what's been happening here with the Housing Authority?
The history of Salishan really goes back to Pearl Harbor, when the federal government realized two things. That a lot of people were headed to the Northwest to build the ships and planes that won that war, and that when they got here, they would make a housing shortage a lot worse. And in response, the federal government built Salishan to house war workers and their families. After the war, the federal government gave it to Tacoma Housing Authority, and we managed it and owned it for the next 50 years. And by 2000, it was worn out. It wasn't built to be permanent housing, and we tore it down and rebuilt it into what you see now as the largest redevelopment in the history of the city, one of the largest west of the Mississippi River. It's a new community of homeowners and renters, community facilities on brand new infrastructure.
And you have something in the works right now with the bank, right?
We do. We're standing here in the core of Salishan. It's anchored by the Kimmy and Dr. George Tanbera Medical Clinic. On the other side of the clinic, we'll be building a new community center, which we hope will host Bates's Eastside Technical School.
Oh, great.
And in front of us is the Family Investment Center, and we have under construction the new bank branch for Heritage Bank that is going to be Eastside's first new bank in a very long time.
So it'll make it much more convenient for residents here, but the whole east side as well, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And bring people in here.
That's right.
As well, yeah.
And when we build that new center, we're going to turn the rest of the Family Investment Center into the region's largest childcare provider.
Great. Because I'm sure that's a big need here for families as they're getting started, and it's very convenient for them to leave their child close to home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
I'll mention we'll be breaking ground just north of Salishan, the Arlington Drive Youth Campus, to house, serve, and save homeless 12 to 17-year-olds without families and homeless 18 to 24-year-olds.
Great. And that's a big priority of the state now, is to address youth homelessness. And so this will be a great facility for the Tacoma community to have that.
So.
Yeah, great. We're here at the campus of University of Washington, Tacoma with Chancellor Mark Pagano. And this development of what was called a branch campus in the past has really made a big difference with downtown Tacoma. Can you talk a little bit about how the relationship works with the city of Tacoma?
Our campus has been here for 28 years, and during that time it's really revitalized this part of downtown Tacoma. It's like a small economic engine down here, a lot of vitality. We have 31 businesses that operate along Pacific Avenue, and they're vibrant, and a lot of students go in there. And we have a great partnership with the city of Tacoma to develop this part of the city, as well as with the Tacoma Public School District as well.
You are a growing campus, so what's happening now? It looks like virtually all the existing buildings that were here before UWT came here are now fully occupied, so what's the plans for the future?
Yes, we've grown every fall for our entire 28 years. We've had increased growth, and we continue to do that in the future. We have just completed the last remodel of the Tacoma Paper and Stationery Building, the historic building that had the old spaghetti factory in it, and that was the last historic warehouse. So now we'll just continue on up the hill. We have 46 acres designated here for the growth of University of Washington Tacoma. And this W, which seems to be at the top of the campus right now, will someday be in the center of this campus.
So this has been a partnership with the university and the state legislature in terms of capital projects. So can you tell me about what that's meant to the campus here in terms of individual projects?
That last project I mentioned with respect to the Tacoma Paper and Stationery Building, the state helped us put that together. In this latest legislative session, the state was good enough to allocate to us $500,000 for pre-design of our next academic building. And that next academic building will house general purpose classrooms and expansion of our Milgard School of Business and some new STEM and engineering programs. It should be expanded right over in this area somewhere. We're really excited about that.
What do you hope to have 10 years from now in terms of student population?
We had 5,185 last fall. We expect somewhere about 5,400 this fall. And we expect to continue to grow at approximately a 4% rate based on the demand of the students and what we can build out to serve them.
Well, this is about as beautiful an urban campus as you can find, isn't it?
I believe so. You can't really tell when you're in the city of Tacoma and when you're on a campus. It's kind of a seamless at the interface.
Great. We're here at Meeker Middle School with Principal Barrett, and it's after hours. Kids are gone home. But let's talk about how things have changed in your time. You're about ready to retire.
Right.
So how are things different in the education field, and particularly how are things different now that with state responsibility for funding basic education?
Things have so changed. A long time ago, we were in a classroom isolated with 150 kids that would come into the classroom 6 times a day. We'd sometimes have a phone that would work, and maybe every so often we'd contact another teacher to ask them an idea or an opinion about a topic. Now it's completely opposite. We've been given the opportunity through the additional funding to collaborate with each other. Staff are talking back and forth. We're actually having release days where substitutes come in, teach the classes, and then the teachers meet, collaborate, prepare lessons, teach it, see what went good, what went bad, make the changes, and teach it again.
So that improves the quality of the education if the teachers have the time to do that kind of work with each other.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I have seen that really change over especially the past 5 years or so, where it's really been a strong commitment from the Tacoma School District to make this happen, to really get these learning labs set up and to bring in the different experts to come in and assist us and help us.
So that ought to translate to better graduation rates and better performance for kids on tests?
Absolutely, absolutely. From kindergarten all the way up to high school, it's been working well.
Great, thank you. I hope this video gave you an idea of some of the great things that are happening in the 27th District. And the state plays an important part in a number of areas, including education. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you again in the very near future.